What up, yo? Tried to fix my hair to make it decent. I want to make this quick. Let me turn off the NCIS. For one, it's a distraction. For two, oh, it'll be copywritten. But I feel like I do need sound in the background. So, it's like, I can't see my clock. It's like 9 in the morning. I did not mute that. It's not playing. It's just, on streaming services, and it plays a little clip while it's sitting there. That's what's happening. So I was going to crochet while I do this, but I'm just not, I'm not there yet, I don't think. Well, maybe. I mean, I could if I could just, but I just want to remember. So I wrote some notes down of just things, because I know last night, okay, hold on. Okay. I just kind of want to clear my mind. Pray over that for a sec. But, so let's see. I didn't write chameleon, but definitely that chameleon thing, that matters. Yeah, I have a bad habit of looking at myself on the camera. I should probably reverse it, but there's just a lot of things, and I think it's all somehow like a part of. I know people could use it. I know it's information, or it's information. Either way, it's something I think people can use, can share, can learn and grow from. And so lately I've been on this whole big thing, just a quick like prelude or whatever. I've been on this whole thing about, humans have conversations to share experiences. Like, that's literally the whole point. TV series, movies, all of it. It's great. It's art. It's release. It's alchemizing our experiences and what we've gone through. And then trying to, that's what it was. I can't believe I didn't write that here. It was so important. Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of did. Like I said, so hold on, we'll get to that. It's really important. It's ways to reach other people and the masses, because as individual as we all are, because we are all so special and so unique, we also are special and unique because our experiences may differ in where we learn our lessons and learn these things and these, the morals and things we're here on this planet to learn, and whatever else things we might be here to learn, whatever, the 3D experience, whatever our soul came here to learn and experience, to take back, probably, or that God said, you know what, you're going to be here, and you're going to be here, and you're going to be here, because you're going to meet each other for a reason. Like, you have this, and you have this, and you have this, and you don't have what they have, and you don't have what they have, and so I need you guys to connect. That's the whole point. So you can learn from each other and get stronger. Not so you can point out everything that they don't have, but you seem to have it. Or you don't have it and they do, and that's not fair. It is fair. It was done for a reason. A star's not a star without all 5 points, but this one's mad that this one's over here, and this one's mad because that one's down there. You're serving your purpose. Hello? I guess that's basically the video. We can just end it there. Just kidding. Just kidding. You thought the prelude was going to be short and sweet. Nope, don't know how to do that. Never knew how to do that, because it's all on a string and it's attached and it's a thing. So that's why this is here. Keep it short. That's funny. So that is kind of the concept, though. God places you where you are meant to be. I recently personally got into, for the first time in my life, actually trying and being in that world, into like acting, and I'm a writer. Writing's what I do. I have so many notebooks. I don't do it as often. I'm older. It sucks. But like, I'm a writer, and I'm trying to get back to that. And I've been noticing I'm getting feeling back. Not like because I felt before, or I thought I did. And now I'm like, oh, can you take it back? Because like, it's really hard and it hurts. But it's like when I read a book, okay, I've always been this person who I can read it, and I can read fast. And my daughter can read fast. She was reading last year, 2nd grade, when they tested her. She was reading at 167 words a minute. She couldn't tell you what she'd read, but verbally, just to see the word, and, she had read it. She knows what the words mean, but she didn't sit there in that place with it. She didn't see it, smell it, taste it, when you listen to Taylor Swift music, wow, this wasn't even in there. But when you do, and you can just blast it up and just really listen to the words, which I used to say I'm a lyric person, and I'm starting to kind of become a music person now because I can appreciate, again, which I haven't been able to do in years. And you don't notice it until it's gone, and then you get it back and you're like, oh wait, that existed, huh? You know, you're Donna in that 70s show in the theme opening on the Kardashian. Oh gosh. I don't know, but there it is. There's just that thing again, that artistic whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called. I almost want to even say it's cognitive, and I feel like for me it is because, again, the example, trying to read something and seeing the words and knowing them and la la la, but not necessarily thinking. Like when a writer writes and they're good, they're describing it to you. And they describe it to bring you there. The air was cool. There was a gentle breeze. The grass was vibrant and green. And it felt, I don't know, warm or wet or moist under her feet. Or I don't even know. But like they do that. And I used to be able to do that stuff easily. And now I struggle. So now that I'm reading again, I'm making it a priority to read. And I don't just mean on Facebook. I mean read. And I have to really read because just what you read on Facebook or something all the time, there's not really great poetic or whatever writers out there everywhere. You find them, and I do follow like an actual poetry, and I follow some like writers groups, and so I'll see that, but you're not going to find that. You know, you're not going to find Taylor Swift quality. You're not going to find, I mean, any writer really, but like, I've been reading my favorite book, Alice by Sarah Flanagan, for, I mean, off and on since, what was it I saw in the book, 2003 or 2005. I love that book. In my head, I see it, feel it, taste it, and smell it the way I imagine that it is. And again, now, so going from like back then, for example, the book will say like okra. I didn't have it wasn't like at my fingertips to Google it anyway. Like I knew it was a food. A plant. Like I know that's like all I really needed to know. I got the gist, but I didn't necessarily have the ability to picture it, imagine it, see it, maybe even imagine how it smells or feels if you've ever used okra before. But I also just wasn't doing that. I liked being in the story. I liked, I hung on to the emotional parts that they talk about or that they go through, and that stuff for pretty much all forms of art or life has been how I've been able to learn. I've always just said like I'm a hands-on learner. I tried not to be like super emotional, but like I'm an emotional, there's got to be feeling. I have to feel something. Anyway, it gets off track and it leads to other things that connect to it, but I got to stay focused. So for me, I stopped paying attention to the signs. I stopped kind of being intuitive, maybe is what I guess I'm coming to learn that it is. But I stopped doing that, and like when I read, it was just like not as fun anymore. And it's like, oh, now I'm realizing why, because I'm not reading like I did when I was a kid, or at least in and out. But I scratch the pages of books while I read, and I do this crinkle thing, and I've been doing that since literally as long as I can remember, like since I started school. I thought at some point in my life it was a nervous or anxious thing. Now I wonder if it's somewhere between, well, I know because I love the feel. I love the feel of the paper. I love paper. I love books. I do. I love them. The older the better. Where is it? Oh, if I could just, and it's in my hand. That would have been amazing if I had done that, but like I didn't. So I'd have to get up and go get it, but I was going to show you my book. But anyway, so I've always said that. There's a Maroon 5 song where he says, I live on all emotion, baby. And maybe he doesn't say that, but that's what I hear. And so that's what I always say, because I'm like, that's true. And it's not that I'm functioning out of a lower frequency or anything like that, a lower vibration. I try not to. And that's the thing, is I suppressed it all for so long. So anyway, I've gotten back into trying to get into my art again, into my passions, into the things that feed the soul, which I feel is super important. I've learned over the years I just had to try it again. It's super important because for one, it's where your confidence lies. When you feel good doing something and it sets off all those things in your brain. I don't know all the science and biology of everything, but the general thing that, I started with cardio. I started walking. a couple of years ago and just started, because I used to dance all the time every single day, but it didn't matter. I ate like garbage. I was a kid. So for a while as a teenager and, when I was working, that was fine. But then I had a family and then stress and then depression and then 15 kids. And, I didn't move anymore. So that I had to start, small, like most of us do. And I started with walking, and it felt so good. I was like, y'all need to go walk. Like every day, you need to go walk. You need to be in nature too. You can't just walk out here by people's houses and be like, I feel so good and rejuvenated. You won't, or I didn't. But in my head, when I'm out there walking, exercising, riding my bike, and I'm in front of people, essentially, that's why I usually need the headphones to block out the noise and stuff, so that I don't feel like I'm just being watched. I want to feel gone. I don't want to feel like I'm walking past a bunch of houses. There's people inside, their TVs are on, they're living their life, or they might be looking out their window noticing me going, what's this bitch doing riding down the road on a bike with her arms flailing out and headphones on? Why is she dancing while she's riding a bike down the street? But this is an exciting cardio and artistic and kind of autopilot release for me. I can just function and let my body do what it does to the music, and that's what this is a part of right here, is this trying to help and teach people to also kind of craft into their art. The more that you do it, and then thereby the more comfortable you get in it, the more eventually you won't think about it. You won't necessarily get nervous, or the nervousness will be so small because that other part's going to kind of take over. It's like you put on your little suit and get into character, but really that's who you really are. This person you have to be, that we were trained to be to survive, whether because of school or this or that, to have to be just 8 hours a day staring and taking in information. And that's part of the problem. We're taking in so much and we're creating so little. And the less that we create, the less good we are at it. If you go 2, 3, 4, 5 years without doing bench press, you're not going to be able to bench press the same amount. You might even be able to do the motion, but it's not going to last long. It's going to feel exhausting. You're not going to enjoy it. After you do it again for a while, you flex it up, it starts to feel good, you start to release those hormones and blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, you start to make some memories with it. It's a routine. Then you get to where, again, you enjoy it. It's normal. It's a part of who you are. And you can kind of do it on autopilot. But anyway, when you do that, you give to yourself, obviously, that self-care time. And also your soul. Your soul is so happy. I feel like when I'm dancing, I'm out there I'm closest to source as I think I can ever be. I am high so naturally. Now, it took a while to build that back up, though, because like I said, I had gained a bunch of weight. I hadn't danced in years. I'm still heavier than I was in high school. I was 165 pounds in high school, and I'm 5'2" 3/4, give or take. And I always had like belly weight. I've always had the weight right here, like a bunch of it. But I've always had belly weight. And, that stuff makes it hard. My back's hurting right now just sitting here. I'd rather lay. If I'm going to be not in motion, I'd rather be laying down. Because my back and everything hurts so bad. Sometimes it's the shoulders. Sometimes it's lower back. It's definitely the SI joint, whatever area. We're not sure what it is. But the more you do those things, the more you feed your soul, the more you can give out here. I've got 4 kids to give my attention to, and, a husband, and just all of the things. So nothing made me feel more capable of giving to them like me finally doing stuff for me. So I've gotten back into trying to write, trying to read. I went down and started kind of volunteering and trying to work and learn with a local theater group down here where I live. And, so I was there last night, and I don't really do anything important or anything. I basically just sit there and read the script and get to like watch them / read and hear them and picture it in my own head, which again, that's what I'm getting at, is that, it takes me so. That, doing that thing, I've realized, is a literal step that I needed to take. Not just like, okay, this is one step of learning about theater, learning about actually being an actor on a stage, learning about actually acting or learning lines. Not just that, but the deeper, I think, kind of the spiritual, you need to learn and integrate into yourself and who you are part 2. I think that part, for me, is what I really needed. And I think the whole point in this video was to say all of this, that like there are multiple reasons I had to be down there, that God placed me there, or whatever you want to call it. But to me, for the relevance in my life, I think the important part is this part. Like, it's good that I'm learning that stuff too, in case I do stay on that track and I do pursue that career and I blah, blah, blah. But the other part underneath it. And so to me, I literally kind of went, like I always do with, you know, like I said, the movies, TV shows, however God speaks to you, He's going to keep trying to figure out in any given point in your life where you're at, what you're influenced by, he's going to try to find a way to talk to you and try to send you those signs and communicate those answers. And you can't even be looking for the answers if you're not aware that you're looking for an answer, that there's a problem. So I guess, yeah, if you're not even trying to do the inner work, you're not even going to notice. And I think that's like a part of the whole awakening process, when people are like, oh, we're all waking up, so many of us, and we are waking up. And it had to be, I guess, after the suppression or oppression or whatever you want to call it, when something presses the fuck down on you. I kind of thought of it this morning, or last night maybe, out of nowhere, and I thought, oh my gosh, you know, they make those jokes about my guardian angels are up here like, oh, please. I'm like, God, and my guardian angels are like, dumb B, get the like, they are lit. Like, you, Black Mirror, don't kid with me, because they're literally saying, Donna, you weren't using a mirror. You were trying to fix someone else or everyone else. And you thought, if I can just teach them how to be correct, I can finally chill. But it's like, B, they're guiding off of you. They're mirroring you. They are literally learning from you. Yes, they're defying you. Yes, they are arguing back. Yes, they're trying to discredit you. Yes, they're trying to devalidate you, because they feel so inferior, especially as children. I mean, what choice do they have? They're children. I'm a child. I still feel inferior to every person I meet. I think everyone I meet is older than me. And then half the time I find out they're younger than me. And I'm like, but I walk in with this sort of mindset of me being inferior, or they're in some way just authoritative over me that I don't. And then I'll find out like, oh no, actually I'm younger than you, or this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh. And then I still don't be like, well, then I'm better than you, because I don't have that in me. I'm more like, oh. Okay, so we're both fucking clueless out here, you know, or something, but, just whatever, but, yeah, that's how my brain works. As you can see, it's messed. So, okay, so God places us where we are meant to be, and, that was the example. So, I was at theater, and I was just like, this dude, I don't usually speak up. It's a miracle to me that I'm still going down there. Like, I just keep having this nagging thing, basically, that's like, nope, this is just too, and I'll remind myself, it's only 2 or 3 nights a week, Donna. It's not that big deal, Donna. It's just a few days, Donna. You're doing okay, Donna. Just take it a day at a time, Donna. Just go down there, Donna. And I'm like, if there's anything in this world I can do, it's going to be this, because I love it, right? Like, I love it. I love everything about playing house, and I think that's largely a Sagittarius thing, but it's also largely a me thing. I've always been about imagination, creation, the spiritual, the whatever, but of course in life you lose yourself, and so that doesn't matter. But anyway, so I'm down there. This is like my second night, and all I'm doing is being the line girl, meaning when they don't know a line or need it and they can't pull it out of the depths of their own mind in that moment, they'll say line, and I'm reading. I'm literally just sitting here reading the entire time, and then I just tell them the line, which for me is very, very fun. It's so fun. Only thing is sometimes I panic because I find myself in my head thinking, which again, I haven't really done, at least other than to stress about crap. I haven't done it in years. And it's so neat because I kind of like wake up in my own head and I'm like, oh shit, hold on, where are we at? What are they saying? Okay, where are we? And I have to get back on track because I panic like they're gonna need a line and I'm gonna not know where we're at, and all I'm doing is read a book. But it's so fun. Literally, obviously, I love doing it. I love being in the environment. I hope that I've kind of found my people, and so I'm in this phase where I'm just, like I said, I'm forcing myself to go. I'm trying to be yes girl, and I'm trying to not keep all the stuff in, because I am aware of, like what I just said, God puts you where he wants you. So like, you might meet someone at a bus stop for 5 seconds. I mean, Forrest Gump, the movie, it tells you, like, this is a lesson. If we haven't learned it, we should. you might meet someone and they say something and you either have experience or you just, I don't know, there's like this intuitive thing. And if, as long as it's not coming from fear, anger, hate, jealousy, that's the problem. And then sometimes maybe it is meant to, because you're still giving that person a perception, some new perception or perspective. When the person, this part's not your responsibility, but like, we have to be willing, guys. Like, we're not just placed on the planet next to people like, oh, a robot. Like, 99% of the time, yeah, we're all just out here existing and doing our thing, or maybe it's that matrix. But like, when you actually get someone next to you and you're interacting, and we were meant to do that, we're meant to kind of bounce off, evolve quicker. That's why the internet's supposed to be a good thing, a nice thing, a helpful thing, because we can share information faster. But of course, it gets twisted when our feelings, when our ego is at the base, the foundation of anything. It's out. And a lot of times, even myself, obviously, I mean, if you see my Facebook, if you see my YouTube, when you see any of that, you can tell from this video, I'm a freaking mess all the time. Irrelevant. At the same time, I'm doing this. I'm trying to, and that's what my son said earlier. He was like, you should vlog. And I'm like, I should vlog. It's going to be some long ass there's going to be a lot of vlogs, and there's going to be, I just kept thinking, because this hasn't not been on my mind. I want to do a podcast. I want to vlog. I want to make videos, of course, better content. And it takes so much self-discipline and everything, though. That's why I'm kind of doing the other stuff. I got my shadow workbook here. And it's not like shadow your book of shadows. It's, a shadow work journal to do the shadow work, dig deep into yourself and your life and your wounds and find out who you are and what you are and why you do what you do. And it's like, at this point, I don't need to really know why, other than that I need to know why so that I can fix it. So then I reframe it so that I can then act differently. So anyway, I'm there. This guy's sitting behind me. He's like shaking his leg. He's nervous. I know he is. He's like he's by himself. And because I kind of came in late. I'm like, we're over here. Anyway, irrelevant. He kind of like mumbles about, I don't know all the lines yet. And they're really wanting to kind of be off book at this point, but they've still got a long way to go. So they're good. Like, trust me. And he really does know his lines, but like he said, it's the big paragraphs that get him. I've never tried to practice lines. I'm not a professional, and I'm not going to claim to be. And I told him that, I was like, this is all by theory. This is just how I feel. And, I told him, like I said, I'm a hands-on learner. It's one of the scariest parts for me. I have watched so much behind the scenes. I mean, if I own it on DVD, whether it's a series, a movie, whatever, I have probably watched all of the outtakes, the deleted scenes. I have watched every bit of the extra credit. I've watched the Scooby-Doo movie several times, probably at least twice. I don't know, maybe not several. I've watched anything I can that you can watch episodes or movies with the cast doing commentary and all that. I've done it. I've watched it. I've watched the whole movie while they do it. And I love hearing about all of that was going on. And so I don't know, but I was like, I'm a hands-on learner. When I watched a table read, I panicked. I was like, oh, I don't actually know if I could do that. And this was just within the last 3 years. I don't know, since we've moved into this house. So that I had that epiphany and went, oh, I don't know that, get that alarm off. In the last few years, I've just thought, oh, I don't know if I could do it. And then on the same thing, I sit there and I'll think it through. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, once I'm comfortable and I know the people, yeah, I would be able to do that. It would be fun. And so I chilled back out. But at first, that initial thought of just being at a table and trying to know that word and that line. And it's not since doing all of this and going down there and learning and going through this process after having auditioned and everything, I'm not mad about it. I'm actually really happy. Because again, like I said, I think I learned these parts, all these layers that are to the acting. Now, I'm not someone who ever thought actors just got up there and read lines. I think that I did think, in a sense, it was like I thought of it in terms of going through the motions. I didn't think of it as going up there and feeling what you're supposed to be conveying that you're feeling. I studied the actions, but not so much the process of the feeling. if that can make any sense for anyone ever. And now I'm thinking about that process. I'm going down beneath that surface and saying, okay, now these people are doing the process where, yeah, they're learning the lines, blah, 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 blah. But the more you get to know the lines, it's kind of opposite, then you get to focus on the feeling. Then you can put the feeling behind it. Because you might be doing the lines, you might be doing a little bit of some action where you can tell, but until you can put that emotion into it and get yourself in that. So anyway, I was trying to give him advice, and that's where I started to have these kind of epiphanies, realizations, putting puzzles together. Because I don't like to just put a wall up and go, well, I don't know. The minute you do that, you just decided that you don't know. You told your brain it doesn't know, and it stopped. I try not to do that, but I did it for years. We all do. We do it just on autopilot without realizing it. My parents said it, they said it, I said it, we said it, and we thought we couldn't. We never thought to be like, I don't know. Why is it even doing X, Y, Z? Once you start to ask questions, you get answers. Ask and ye shall receive. I promise you it's there. You're just focusing on all the irrelevant parts. And a lot of times we're taking what it says and we're applying it to everyone else, like what I was doing. And I wasn't realizing that I wasn't applying it to me. I did it all in theory or by word and would say it. Thought I was living it, but then realized in my actual day-to-day actions I wasn't. As simple as telling people like, no, your kid needs to do things for themselves, explore and learn from it. Everyone has to do it. I don't know what else to tell you. You cannot, I know, at least for me, I cannot basically like be handed a manual, be told what to do. And apparently then just do it. And by that I mean these things, telling us. Now, yeah, if you say walk over there, grab that, sure, I can. A lot of times I can do that, but I mean, there's just layers. There's just layers to it. I've probably already lost everyone. I'm so sorry. This is why I don't do it, because I'm just like, I don't know how to explain this, and that's why I wrote it all down too, so I could not get too off track. But anyway, in the process of trying to help him. And like I said, just telling him like, this is theoretical for me, but when you do it at home, when you're practicing on your own or whatever it is, just be delivering those lines and be trying to become that person. Try to understand that person. You know, when a person says words, at least to me anyway, they mean something. They kind of tell you about a person, their character, their personality. It can be in the phrase, it can be in a different choice of wording. You know, it can be the difference to me between either and either. To me, there's a different personality or mindset or whatever behind someone who says either and someone who says either. And not all the time, of course, and not always like in this big kind of way, but it can be like just a subtle thing, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. Oh, my thought went choo-chooing off track. When doesn't it? Okay, let's see. So, yeah, I was just trying to help him with that. The part I didn't tell him, and for some reason, so this has to matter. It's been nagging at me for not saying this to this guy the whole time after the fact that we were there another 30 minutes or more, and I didn't say it, but I just wanted to like, I don't know, maybe it was an hour, because yeah, he was talking about it before we really got started. So anyway, I had said like I did, you know, try to get yourself in that person's shoes. I'm a hands-on learner, so just the more you do it, the better you're going to get. Like I said, he actually does have a lot of time left to get this figured out. But the thing that I really wanted to say, that I felt like just this constant push, like you need to say this, and I didn't, was the mirroring thing. I have read that, you know, a lot of autistic people mirror as masking, and again, I know I do. And that's why for years I thought, oh, I'm meant to be an actress, or like I'm really good at it, because I do mirror people's actions constantly, every day. And I have had to stop myself here lately, and I hate it. It's really hard. But it's good, because the more aware of it that I am, the more fake that it doesn't feel authentic to me to be doing that. And I feel like people can see it and see through it, or I used to, and that's why I used to like get so nervous and giggle at the idea of acting, because I'm like, but everyone knows it's fake, like come on, if they were watching you do that, I'd feel so silly. And I've realized that it's a whole other situation. So, but we'll just leave that there. What I wanted to say was the mirroring thing though. So I never said it. You know, when you're reading your lines, I did the whole, you know, feelings, emotions, put yourself in their shoes, You know, try to really understand what's being said, and then that will allow you to make your body language. But I didn't touch on the idea of, like I said, the mirror. You see it in your head when you're reading. Like I said, because I haven't done it in years, you picture it happening. Or you should, or some people do and some people don't. I'm training my brain, or I'm going back to it, I'm not sure what you want to call it, to do that again. And so I'm like, picture it happening. Picture what you think that guy looks like, that character that you're playing. Picture what he looks like, what the set looks like. You know, it's telling you some details. Start working, and you work toward that. You know, you read it like that. You take it in first. Take in that story so that you know the story. And so that you know that character's place in that story. And for me, again, it comes back to that connection, resonating with them. And so finding how you resonate with them and how you understand them. Then it'll be easier to play that role. And the words and the things will just roll off the tongue at that point, because you understand that that's who this person is. That's what, there's a reason they're saying and doing these things, I guess, is the idea. But so I'm like, you picture it in your head as you're reading. Don't just read the words and try to remember what they're saying. See it happening, feel it, and then you'll be in that place. And then what you'll obviously do, because you're acting, you're going to be on a stage in theater, you're going to see yourself, basically. Maybe you'll just see yourself in that body and you'll dress it up. But like, you're going to need to like see yourself doing it. Just like they say, anything you can imagine up here can be out here. That's essentially, to me, the whole thing about God. That's everything God is. God was spirit, and he was like, it's like one big old black hole. And it was like, oh, you know what? I'd really like to feel and see this. I'd really like to taste. And it wasn't necessarily even a thing until it was. It wasn't even words. It was a feeling. I want these. And then they started to, I think anyway, like progress into a feeling. Then you started to see, well, what does this look like? Just like we do in real life. Well, I think we should create this kind of a roller coaster. And then you go, well, what does that look like? Okay, now how do we get that? Well, we can use these materials. Well, how do we make that happen? Well, we're going to have to do this with it. It's one little step at a time that takes you to the next step. That's been a big theme lately too here. So that maybe that was important too. Small steps, just like this. I couldn't just wake up one day and go move to California and be an actress or a producer or a writer. I had to start at the bottom, because that's what I was talking about, peeling back those layers or learning the other parts that build those parts, like kind of learning the internal fundamental parts. And I feel like that's what I'm doing, because I went there and auditioned for a part in a play. Didn't even know what it was, had never heard of it. I knew I could read a script. That's fine. I know nothing about this. I don't know who these characters are. I get it. They're whatever. Okay, they're Southern and they're working on a Christmas play. Cool. That doesn't tell me about any of these characters I'm reading. I don't know what kind of a person this character is, this woman I'm playing. You know, and I went in there because I study whatever I say. If you tell me to be this person out here, yeah, I can probably give you a decent, my interpretation of who they are kind of impression. But and I know I didn't take the time because I was nervous, of course. And I was like, oh, I gotta hurry. Nobody wants me here. You know, whatever. Get off the stage. You're taking up too much time. So I didn't read. She did tell us, like, read through the little scene a little bit so that you know what's going on and where you're at. If you need to, take your time. And I didn't. I was so panicked. I would do like a look over. And like I said, especially in a panic, I'm not taking in word for word anyway. So I'm not really necessarily, I'll get like a key thing. And it might be something irrelevant, like, oh, they're in the saloon. And I'm like, okay, so we're in a bar. I got that. Which doesn't tell me anything about how my character might be acting, feeling, talking, her tone, inflection, whatever. It doesn't tell me anything about that, really. I mean, it could tell you that she's being loud, maybe, I guess. But it doesn't tell you about the character. Are they soft? Are they strong? Are they, you know, kind of masculine? Is she aggressive? Is she peppy and pleasy all the time? Yes, how are you? I don't know that from, she's in a bar, you know, or something. But anyway, so that's my other thing, is the mirroring. When you picture it, imagine it, and feel it like you're there. I think that's like because you have to be there. You have to be present. Just like in real life, you have to be present and be active and do your part. And for me, I feel like maybe being there, maybe that was one of my parts. Maybe that'll help him. Maybe it won't at all and it's insignificant and there's some other reason and this was the only reason. Or there's no reason and I just wanted to and I did. I don't care. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that anymore. So anyway, I was doing that and it was on my mind. It stayed on my. So I went to Walmart this morning real quick with my son. And we were leaving, like you do, and it was funny. But anyway, we were leaving, and there was an elderly woman. I wouldn't really call her elderly. I'd say maybe she's like middle-aged, but she was in a scooter, and she had like a big appliance, like maybe a vacuum, I think. I just feel like I saw Shark on it, so it could have been. And then there was an employee walking out with her carrying a, carrying another little appliance, like I think it was like an air fryer or whatever, like an oven thing or something like that. And the woman was checking her receipt or whatever, which I cracked a joke, trying to anyway, that they're serious. And it is the season, Christmas, holiday season's coming. Walmart's cracking down. There's an employee escorting out a customer and they're still checking her receipt. And I was just like, that's funny. It's like, they're so serious. And I told my son, because he was kind of playing the mom for the moment, he wanted to check out and swipe all like 10 Lunchables we bought for the kids. And so he did, and I had him ring it up and do the card and everything, and he got the groceries, and then I was like, well, here, take the purse, because now you're being the adult, you're being the mommy. And that always gets my purse for me if I don't have it, or like I walk off and whatever. But it's just funny. So I gave him that, and we're getting up there, and I was like, you got that receipt out? Because like, she's serious right now. And the woman in front of us, even though she had an employee there with her, I thought to myself, because her vacuum started to fall out of her scooter cart thingy, and she grabbed it real quick while she was trying to get a receipt. And I thought, because normally I would like, oh no, and I'd go up, I'll try to catch it, I'll help. If she hadn't had help, I would have, me and my husband both would have been like, hey, you want me to help you take that to your car? Or I would have wanted to, but usually the part of me that wants to do that is pushed so far in the subconscious. I think of it, I know someone should do it, and then I don't. Because I'm afraid. They're going to think I'm trying to steal their stuff or just whatever. Like, I'm afraid to even offer to do it. There has been times I've watched people sit on the side of the road, their car is broken down or something, and I just drive on by. Not because I don't want to stop and help, but because I think they're going to think, well, for one, you're a woman, what the hell can you do? I can change a tire. I can tell you I can change a tire. It might be hard. I might have to jump up and down on the four-way for a minute. I can keep you company till someone shows up. Or maybe your phone. It doesn't matter. But that's my point. I normally don't jump in and help out. And we should. But we've been made to fear everything so much that we don't anymore. And we need to get back to that. And I'm working on getting back to that. And so I'm doing that. And so I'm sharing that. So that you can do that too. Because we all need to do that. Because we are people. We're all each other's people. So I thought, this woman's vacuum, all of these, yes, all of this, from here, somewhere in the back, all the way to the subconscious to the forward, was thinking all these things and processing these things from the 2-minute drive right over here to our Walmart to here at my house. Anyway, I thought, me or my husband, but I would have gone up there, caught it, I'd be like, hey, you need some help? I'll help you get this to your car, whatever. And I thought, that's it right there. Because I didn't have to go to Walmart when I did. I wasn't going to. Then my kids missed the bus, which put me going to Walmart 15 minutes later, at least. By at least 15 minutes. I would have gone sooner if they'd gotten on the bus at 7:57, 8 o'clock. So I didn't, and my son ended up going with me, and we're standing there, and all of that happened. And I thought, well, if she didn't already have an employee helping her, and the vacuum kept falling out, I'd go ahead and offer to help her, because I was going to have me or William help her. And that's when I was thinking about it. This is the whole point, guys. Yeah, we can have fun while we're here. We can do the fundamentals. We can buy shit. We can consume. We can play it up. We can party it up. We can experiment. We can love whoever we want, do whatever, and that's fine. It really is. God only cares about the heart. He only cares about your intentions and the important things. I honestly believe, yeah, he tells us to do this that way or the other. He doesn't care who we're plowing. Okay? And I think it all comes down to an energetic thing more so anyway. Yes, we put the 3D plane things on it, the physical male, female description, feminine, masculine, which is a description of, an energy or something, or what we've come to term is whether you take action or you don't, or this or that. It doesn't have to be plastered and in stone to a 3D form, you know? But that's the thing right there, you know. I feel like we were put there for that, maybe for only that reason. Like, nope, you're a helpful, nice person who helps people, and now I'm going to put you in a place with someone who maybe was stressing this trip to the grocery store because they knew they can't get things off certain shelves, which I'm a firm believer that stores need to be like this. Nacho cheese Dorito, nacho cheese Dorito, nacho cheese Dorito, nacho cheese, 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 all on one shelf. I am a firm, I'm pretty sure it's China or Japan that does their shelving that way because it makes sense. Short people and children can get one off the bottom or down through here, midgets. And I'm short. Again, I'm 5'2". My husband's 5'2", 5'1". He's a little shorter than me. It should go do. So that there's one really tall 6-foot dude can get the one off the top shelf. Stop getting it down here because I'm short and you took everything off the bottom and now I can't reach up here. It should all be shelved like that. So anyway, God puts you where you're meant to be. For the tiniest things, you're just meant to be there. Just play your part. Just stand up and do what you would do in that moment when something is happening. Give the advice that you would give. Give the advice that is something you seem to have been stewing on for a while and seem to have learned something from. Even if it doesn't hit exactly home with this person, it could have been a step in the process and you were necessary to getting that to happen. Not saying everything lies on you, but just that little part. Like just do that little part that you were supposed to do. It's not a big thing. It's not hugely sacrificial. And no, it's not the most important thing in the world. But I am a firm believer personally that like the Bee Movie, if you've never watched it, watch it. How they're like, and he's like, you don't think things just run a little too smoothly around here? And there's like a row of bees or cars, because they're in cars for some reason, like driving around here. There's things flying here. There's things going there. And they're all intersecting at the exact same time. And no crash happens. I do believe in that. A well-oiled machine. I believe that is possible. I have a dream. It is possible. It really is. But when we show up authentically, and not from ego, but like authentically, and just do it. What's meant to be is going to happen in the order and the way that it happens. And we all don't have faith, and we all have trust issues, and it took a long time, and I'm still working on it, but that's that. So I guess that was the general message. Yeah, numbers are communication. It's a code. You can be in rhythm and on frequency with someone. Like I said about the acting thing where he was like struggling with his lines and this, that, and the other. Because he's still learning, and I think, and maybe that's it. I just see myself in this person, and maybe it helps this time and maybe it doesn't. But in my mind, you're nervous. You're overwhelmed because you got all these lines and you're like, oh my gosh, am I supposed to know all these? So you're nervous in the first place. Now you're overwhelmed, so you're double nervous. You're afraid everyone's going to see that. You're, being vulnerable. There's a lot. It's a lot to go out here and do this. And it's more to do it on a stage in front of people, like right there, where they can automatically like act and react to your ions. Their ions are going to automatically act and react to yours. That being said, that was what I'm getting at. Being on someone else's frequency or plane and kind of borrowing like numbers when you have to a remaining or whatever. It's kind of funny, and you borrow from, you take the 10 or the 7 and you borrow from it, and 17 and add or subtract. Because he's on the stage and he's doing it. He got past the really big thing, the really big long one, and he was just doing this it was really a funny scene. So anyway, and so the one guy says this line and just, okay, I'm just going to like give you the details. It doesn't matter. I don't know what else to tell you. But anyway, it was like extraordinary or something. It was just a normal, I could have just said extraordinary. You could have just said, do something extraordinary. But he made it big and ran with it. Because he's confident. He's got this. And then the other dude, I swear on my life, I wish I could have recorded it, because it's like I either saw it or I felt the hesitation, but he's the extra, and he kept going. He did it. He mirrored that guy. He carried that energy, and this is a comedy, y'all. It was hilarious. He killed it. He hit it. He hit the fucking mark, okay? I'm hitting the mark. He hit the mark. Yeah, I love it. It is so exciting. And he's like, extraordinary. How? I mean, that was it. That was it. He was in it. And and he was on that guy's frequency. He was safe now. He was guiding off of him, which we don't all know, but people who I've watched the things and they talk about, with acting and also with like being a stand-up comedian, anything in entertainment, to be honest, completely functions off of your skill, but off of timing and them. You have to be able to play on them right, on your audience or whatever, and A Walk to Remember, when she says your acting only works on an audience and walks away and it's so slick and smooth. That line, my whole life, that line right there. And the lines I love doing, whose line is it anyway? I love doing like what movie or what show or what, what I mean, what scene is this from? What show is this from? Because, well, I don't love doing it because no one usually ever knows. I don't always resonate with like the mainstream, I think a lot of people should know that line. To me, that line is right there. It meant something, obviously. But I guess maybe the masses, for the masses, it's the other things. Like, quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn or something. I don't know. I haven't even watched that. But I've heard it like a lot. And I know it's from like Gone with the Wind or something or whatever. Like nobody puts baby in a corner. Like everybody knows those lines. Whatever. But like my lines are, like I said, like that one. I guess it's something that probably resonates within me. It was probably a message at the time for me, like, bitch, your acting only works on an audience, shut the fuck up. But no, I've always loved that line. And it's that. Like, it's a lot of give and take with the audience and knowing your audience, I guess, and knowing what hits and what doesn't. But anyway, he killed that. He did it. And again, after that, I thought, God, you need to tell him this. And I didn't push because I'm not a pro. And I'm not the boss. And whatever, maybe he doesn't even care or want to hear it, and it's stupid. I let myself do that, and I just got complacent and kind of stayed. It's all right, I'll get better. Maybe he'll come to the conclusion on his own. Maybe he's already just flying off the charts. Maybe that moment made him go, okay, all right, I got it. And I hope it did. I hope something did. He'll get it. But yeah, mirroring. For some of us, it's just mirroring. And I don't know what that means for me, because I know it doesn't matter though anymore. I'm just like, I don't want to know anymore. I don't need a label. I'm going to go ahead and trust my intuition from now on, and that's that. And people don't have to believe in it or agree with it or validate it or blah, 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 blah. So much for keeping it short. 47 minutes, 20 seconds, just to say so little. Surely that helps someone. It's time to go, though. It's time to, I don't know if I'm going to, now, because like I told my husband, I'm a stay-at-home mom now, basically. And I'm trying to, take care of me and do things and build up, and I want to do this stuff, obviously. And I really would love to make a living from it, but obviously right now I just feel like I don't necessarily, because I know, and people get so mad about, sorry, it just all runs together, and it's hard to talk about one and not say the other stuff that I feel like needs to be said. Like the military. I love them. Of course they should make more money than anyone on the planet. Of course they should. But the reality is, celebrities make money because they sell a product / they sell themselves as entertainment for the world. Period. If you don't comprehend that by now, you're either a child or maybe you're just not really into that world. You've never sat and thought about it for very long. I get that. But no, they're literally a product. They literally sell themselves constantly. And money is just energy. It's just reciprocation over and over. I mean, it is a reciprocation. But I just don't... okay, it's reciprocation. I don't know. But it is. It's just a recycle. It's just on repeat. And if you don't have something to sell in the first place, nobody's buying. So... and they're out protecting. They're doing one of the hardest jobs in the world. And they're sort of protecting. We're not... that's it. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. Our military does, though. They're doing what they're told to do. Kind of like me. You can just tell me what to do. I wanted to be a Marine. I know people have said, you would not be. And I'm like, you don't know me. You literally do not know me. Because I'm literally the person, like I said. I mean, earlier I said you can't. But in terms of directing me, you can direct me all you want to. As long as I want you to. But And I did. I wanted structure really bad, especially back then. I wanted structure so bad in my life, and I was really good at structure. I thrived in structure once I'm in it, and I'm like a machine. I'm a robot. I can just reciprocate. Why do I keep saying that? Reciprocity. Why do I keep saying that? I can just repeat. I can duplicate. But it is all still the same. I can give it back and give it back and give it back all day. But I usually tend to think I'm a slow learner. And it's not that I'm a slow learner, but a lot of times, words don't mean the same thing to other people that they mean to me. So it can be a struggle to communicate and be understood. Or to understand. Not to understand. I always can understand other people. I just... No, I literally almost always can. I mean, yeah, I don't understand wanting to live a life that doesn't make any sense to me. But I also understand that what makes sense to me doesn't make sense to someone else, and vice versa. Very complex up here. All right, that's all. I don't know. So, what did I just see on the screen? So I wanted to watch whatever just showed up. Good thing I wasn't trying to crochet. That was rough, guys. That was weird, though. Is that what people feel like when they're channeling? I felt like I was in it. Was it just the book? Did the book make a difference? I just feel like this is part of the experience, that's all. To go from feeling like you're actually talking to someone to, I'm alone in a room talking to a phone. The difference there. It's is that where the channel breaks off? 5111 was on there. I don't know, 5111. Let's go. Let's Google those angel numbers. All right. It's Donna. I've been here. It's peace, love, prayer, cross, whatever. Howdy, homies.